Hello, Mike Perry here and welcome to Mike's Take on the Movies.com. Today I want to talk about a film that starred Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, and it's appropriately titled Tough Guys. Kirk Douglas, Burt Lancaster made a total of 7 films together beginning in 1947 with I Walk Alone. They reunited 10 years later for what to me is the most fun when it comes to a movie made about the gunfight at the OK Corral. Kirk was Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp was played by Burt Lancaster. A couple years later, The Devil's Disciple, cameo appearance together in 1963, The List of Adrian Messenger, 1964, 7 Days in May. Really a solid film that you should check out. Great co-stars, Frederick March, Ava Gardner, Edmund O'Brien. Television film, 1976, Victory at Entebbe, kind of forgettable. 10 years after that, producers get it right. They say, let's make a fish out of water story with Kirk and Burt. They've been in jail for 30 years. Throw them into modern day civilization. Old style gangsters, new style criminals. A lot of fun. Fish out of water stories date back. Tarzan Goes to New York. Crocodile Dundee. It's a fish out of water story. They're a lot of fun. Kirk and Burt actually are good examples of actors that were in the 7-year contracts at studios. They wanted to break out, independent filmmaking, start their own companies. Kirk Douglas, Paths of Glory, Spartacus, on and on. Burt breaks out of the mold. Not only does films starring himself, is responsible with a couple other partners, Hecht and Hill, Marty, Ernest Borgnine, and countless others. So their careers overlapped quite a bit. Their co-stars in this film are well done as well. Alexis Smith, leading lady from the 1940s, beautiful, turns up in this movie as Burt's love interest. Eli Wallach steals every scene he's in. He's hilarious. He's got goggles on for glasses, can't see in front of him, and he's a hit man who's been waiting 30 years to get these two guys once they're released from jail. As well as Charles Durning, everybody's kind of favorite go-to cop when it comes to needing an overweight police officer. Has done it countless times before. A young Dana Carvey, he's a comedian, but he appears in this film as their very young parole officer who's overwhelmed by these legendary gangsters being released from jail. I'd like to think that, you know, as a film fan, I'd like to think that Dana Carvey would look back at this as one of the highlights of his career, getting to appear opposite these two iconic movie stars for their time and day. The other thing, too, is I saw this movie at the theater in 1986. Very excited to go see it. You know, I'm watching all their films on television over the years. Obviously, they were no longer box office attractions at this point. But when this film came out at the movie theater, I was there on opening night. I couldn't wait, and I wasn't disappointed. It was out on VHS. I think it found an audience in the late 80s, I guess, on VHS. And to my knowledge, was never released on DVD, and I think that's unfortunate. And I really believe this is a good comedy, family film, if you want to call it that. The whole family can watch it, and it's definitely one that needs to be released, rediscovered, and take the time to find it if you can. You won't be disappointed. So thanks again, Mike Perry at Mike'sTakeOnTheMovies.com.